Beautiful, beautiful time to talk about football after a lengthy international break right there. And the Premier League is back with full force. Hello and welcome. It's Kickoff with J again. He's doing football analysis the way you love it, and as we promised, and as you always know, I don't do this alone. I do it with fantastic football fans and analysts. And please, before we proceed, do like and subscribe our videos. Very much important for the growth of this channel. And I'm joined by Mohammed as always. Mohammed, welcome to the show once again. Um, Premier League football right there is back.
Well, the dreaded international break is over. The international break is always a painful time as a football supporter, and sometimes when it is 2 weeks, it becomes so long, and when you miss your football cup in action, and it's very good that the Premier League is back in action. The Champions League is also back for the teams that are in the Champions League, and it's really fantastic that football.
Yes,
Yeah.
really fantastic to also have you here. It's been quite a while. We've talked about football right there, and this is maybe the busy time of um, Premier League games. And let's quickly start by checking out some games that will be happening. We have a big game coming up, the Chelsea versus the Arsenal game, an amazing game that we look forward to. But let's quickly take the first one right there, early kickoff right there on Saturday. Liverpool will be welcoming Everton. Merseyside derby, this game, no matter the form the teams come in with, is always very tasking and always very exciting. A lot of tackles, a lot of flair being shown in this kind of games. And Merseyside derby it is, and Liverpool will be welcoming Everton at Anfield. And Everton, I think they have only 2 wins, 2 losses, and 1 draw in their last 5 games. They are sitting right there, maybe a little bit above the bottom three, and we've known them the last 3 years to struggle just to stay in the Premier League. Do you think they can pose a threat to this Liverpool side that seems to be not so good and solid defensively right now?
Well, I for one, I expect Everton to be one of the teams that will struggle this season in the Premier League. Everton used to be a top 7 team. They used to be a top 8 team, and sometimes they do compete for the top 4. But over the years, their recruitment has gone bad, has gone low, and all of that. But straight to the game, I always say this about every Liverpool game. This game is at Anfield, and it seems like Liverpool have 12 players when it comes to playing in the Anfield, and they're playing against an Everton side. They've won 2 of their last 3 games, Everton. But this Liverpool team, it's a Merseyside derby. The 2 teams are just neighbors, and the Merseyside derby has always given us a whole lot of drama, from the Pickford issue, to the Van Dijk issue back then. So, but it's early kickoff, and I don't know if it's like a myth about the early kickoff. You just don't know what to expect from early kickoff. But Liverpool are the favourites based on form, based on the quality of players that they have, and Mohamed Salah is on a very fantastic form as well. So at the end of the day, Liverpool should be getting the 3 points, but it's never going to be easy.
Yes, Mohamed Salah, right? That's the driving seat of that German machine, right? There. So just give me prediction, your scoreline prediction for that one, and
I,
let's
I
quickly move.
expect a 3-1 or a Liverpool 2-1 win.
Yes, obviously Liverpool will surely concede. They do not look like a side that will keep clean sheets in their recent games, obviously, because I don't know the Van Dijk, everybody, and the lack of them paying DM these days. So McAllister sometimes is very prone to mistake, and we saw that being exploited right there by Brighton in Liverpool's build up. So let's quickly move on. Another game, very exciting one right there at the Etihad. Manchester City will welcome Brighton. This game with 2 elite tactical coaches with almost similar but distinct tactical football philosophy. And this one promises to be another exciting one of attacking football. And Brighton still here to keep a Premier League clean sheet. They seem to be an entertaining side in the Premier League. right there. So, what is your thought on this one? Manchester City versus Brighton.
Well, for me, this is the biggest game of the Premier League weekend. I don't know. For you, it's the Chelsea Arsenal, of course, but this is the biggest
That's
game
the
for a new
disrespect.
club.
That's the
No,
disrespect.
it is maybe not a disrespect. It's based on the standards of this team. I think as a neutral fan,
Okay.
when you watch Manchester City and Brighton play, you expect a very tactical and entertaining game. The two teams are trying
Yeah.
to play out back, and the quality of technical players these two teams have, and all in all, this is a game where you just don't want to miss. It's really going to be end-to-end stuff. Brighton are going to the Etihad, which is an advantage for Manchester City. But we've seen Man City in the last two Premier League games or three Premier League games. They seem not to beat themselves. But I think one good thing for them is Rodri will be back. They really missed Rodri in the game against Arsenal. And I, for one, think if he was there, the outcome would have been a different one, maybe a draw or even maybe a win because for me, I feel Rodri is Manchester City's most important player in that squad. When you remove him, it's almost difficult to replace him. And Kevin De Bruyne too as well. I think I saw it last week. He is back training, and people underrate how important Kevin De Bruyne is for
That's
that Manchester City side. And they've been playing without him, and they have been doing very, very well. Talking about Brighton too as well, they don't always disappoint. They always score goals. They always score goals, but they always tend to concede. So we expect probably an end-to-end affair from these two entertaining and
yes,
tactical
surely,
sides.
surely it's going to be an entertaining one. And obviously, pointing out the De Bruyne issue, it's maybe showing some lapses in Alan's game. That the lack of that creator behind him. Maybe he has gone almost 4 games without scoring in the Premier League. I think so, or in all competitions. So I think that one right there will surely be a major issue for them. But good news for them for um, Manchester City for him being back training right there. It's going to be a big news for Pep Guardiola ahead of a very busy December period and November period. So let's quickly move on and let's talk about the game right there, Sheffield versus Manchester United at Bramall Lane. And Manchester United, I think they won their last game before the international break. Obviously, been hit with plethora of injuries, and this is one of the I've said it. Manchester United have gotten some good um, games in which good winnable games in which even with the length of the injuries they have, they can still get a good point, which comes down to maybe a very lucky time to get this kind of a very lucky time to get this kind of draws. So obviously, Sheffield are without a point in the Premier League, average only just a point in Premier League. They sit 20th, and Manchester United should be able to run riot against this opposition.
Well, maybe I disagree with the run riot aspect of that because football is not straightforward. Football is not predictable. One moment we saw Newcastle go to Sheffield and score 8 goals past them, and the other moments we saw Manchester City struggle to get 3 points away at Sheffield. And I was watching the end of that Sheffield Man City game, and it was amazing the energy that Sheffield United put and all of that. But like you said, looking on paper, the quality that Manchester United have is more than what Sheffield United have. Sheffield United, I feel they'll be going back to the Championship. They are not ready for Premier League football yet, and it's sad. They've lost all their 5 games at home this season. I think they scored only 1 goal at home and conceding close to 20 goals. That is a very bad run. And one thing for a promoted side is if you want to stay in the Premier League, you need to be very good defensively. You need not to concede so many goals. And Sheffield United have failed to be a very good defensive side. For Manchester United, a lot of key players are back. Rafael Varane, Kobe Mainu, Sergio Regulion, and it's very important for them. Anthony too is back as well after the rape issue. So it's very important for them that these players are back. And you look at the quality of this Manchester United side. I always tell you this: the quality of that Manchester United side is always going to tell because they're always going to win games. And all in all, I expect the United clean sheet. A 2-0 win should do.
Yeah, and talking about injuries, it's not only to Manchester United. I think Sheffield has same amount, if not more than Manchester United. Looking at it here, they have about 9 injuries, 8 will not play, and
And
one is
for a
questionable.
promoted for a promoted side, that is a big number of injury. A side that probably does not have enough or much money to compete with even the mid-table teams in the Premier League. And if you look at the stats this season, Sheffield United goalkeeper Teddy Sheringham, or forgotten his name, the Sheffield United goalkeeper has made the most saves in the Premier League this season, and United
Wow.
are one of the teams that have played the most shots in the Premier League per game this season. So I think you just feel it's going to be a very, very long day for Sheffield United with a midfield of Sofian Amrabat controlling that midfield. You feel United will keep the ball moving much, much better than we've seen. And at the end of the day, United should be picking up all 3 points. No excuses.
Your scoreline for that one, obviously.
I actually said it's 2-0 Manchester United win.
Yeah. Okay. Moving on to the big one. The London derby right there happening at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea will be welcoming Arsenal to their own stadium right there. And Chelsea, I think, with 2 wins in their last 2 games, and Arsenal unbeaten run still continues in the Premier League. I think they're the only side aside Tottenham to be unbeaten this season. And I think they'll be having a boost of Bukayo Saka being back, William Saliba should be available also for that game, and Gabriel Martinelli. And Chelsea, this Chelsea side are yet to show us the quality of their investment, and they are yet to show they can hold their own against the big sides in the Premier League. What are your first thoughts on this one? Chelsea versus Arsenal going down there. I think
I would like
Chelsea
to ask you a
in their
question.
in their last.
Have Chelsea defeated a team in the top half of the table like this
I
season?
think that was when they defeated Fulham. I think Fulham was in the top half when they beat them right there. Let me check to confirm. Yes. Okay.
When the,
I
the
think so.
issue is when you the international break causes a loss of momentum. And for teams like Tottenham and Arsenal that have been picking up points, that have been winning games, I think they don't want the international break to come, because the international break is a time for the managers to re-strategize, to come back and look what has gone wrong. And if you give elite managers 10 days to 2 weeks to look at, what is wrong with the team, you see managers coming up with different strategies, different tactics. Nowadays there's a whole lot of data that is used, a whole lot of information is gathered. For example, now the amount of distance that a player has covered is easily known, every single player. And that is why today when the manager comes and says that you're not running well, you're not doing well, he can back it up with the stats. So back to the analysis of the game, it's really, really difficult to analyze a game like this based on, you talked about Arsenal are unbeaten in the Premier League, and Chelsea themselves have gathered a bit of momentum um, before the international break. It's really, really going to be a very interesting one. It's a not London derby. Chelsea are at home, but
Okay.
it doesn't count.
Okay. Let me give you something. If Chelsea wins this game, they are 6 points away
Yes.
from the top. And if Arsenal wins this game, they solidify their position in the Premier League table, and the message is gotten, maybe the title contenders for this season. So I'm just looking at the possibilities and how this game can change the whole picture of everything for Chelsea on Chelsea side, and can
Yeah,
also
yeah,
solidify Arsenal's
yeah.
position.
You're trying to jump before you could walk. Yeah, you're thinking
No, no,
about
no.
Chelsea
I'm
being
I'm
six.
I'm not thinking about Chelsea. I'm only giving you the possibilities that
Oh, oh,
it can.
oh,
That
okay.
there's so
But
much
you
evidence
also you
here.
also need to look at you also need to look at Chelsea's record against Arsenal. It's been very, very poor. Chelsea have struggled time again and again against this Arsenal side. I think in the last 7 to 8 meetings, Chelsea have only managed to win one game against Arsenal, which is something that they should be improving on. But apart from that, Chelsea are at home. Like I said, they've got a little bit of momentum. They should be able to pose a threat for this Arsenal side. For one, I expect a draw between these two sides, and nothing will be much better for me than seeing these two teams share the spoils.
Okay. I think For me, I think if Chelsea are to have any chance in this game, it boils down to the attack and how ruthless it can be. We've known Chelsea to play all the balls, to dominate matches. Even against Liverpool, they dominated most of the proceedings right there at Stamford Bridge. But the one thing still remains: can they find the back of the net? And in top games like this is what defines your moment, because one moment you miss and the other moment the opponent punishes you. And this is what Premier League is all about. And this is what I say games like the London Derby or the London Derby like this are all about. Can Chelsea show a ruthlessness in there, because you will get many chances against the partnership of Saliba, Gabriel Jesus, and the backline of Arsenal? And can they hold their own? Can they find the back of the net, like I just said, against this team? That will really much decide how this game goes. But Arsenal on their own, they're on a whole different level. They are not playing so exceptionally well like we knew Arsenal to play last season, but they are getting the job done. They are getting over the line, and um, that is one of the most amazing things you could do as somebody looking to challenge for the title this season. So let's quickly do this. I'll give you my scoreline. I think I go for a 2-1 Arsenal win, and
You come out clean, bro. Come out clean. Say a 2-1 Chelsea win. The, it won't be
no,
bad. Just come out clean.
this is a 2-1
I'm
Arsenal win.
expecting.
I see all them.
I expect a 1-0 draw from the two sides. I think maybe Chelsea will get the first goal and Arsenal will equalize. So I expect a 1-1 draw. I just want to see these two teams share the spoils. You know, you are neighbors and you could just pick share points. No team should be greedy to take the 3 points. So that is the way I actually see it. And I actually like Arsenal's away record defensively. I think they do so
Yes,
well defensively away from home. And it's surprising that when Arsenal, even from last season, when Arsenal play at home, they tend to let in a whole lot of goals. But when they go away defensive, away, they're so solid, they're so compact, and it's really, really good.
yes,
And I think Thomas Partey is back for Arsenal, and that is an additional boost for the Gunners.
yes. Additional boost. So let's quickly do a combined XI right there for Manchester, Arsenal Chelsea game. So let's see, what do you go with? Let's start with goalkeeper. Let's go with the 4-3-3 formation, and
Did
let's
you
see.
did you pick a 4-3-3 formation just to favor you?
No, Arsenal plays a 4-3-3, and most
Okay, okay.
especially Chelsea plays a 4-2-3-1.
You know
So I
all
think
these things you would have cooked it like few minutes earlier. Then you just be throwing it. I actually don't really rate any of the goalkeepers between the club. So I for I'll
three.
just
They
go
have
with
three. They have three good goalkeepers, and you don't rate any.
I don't rate any as exceptional, to be honest. I don't think any of
Okay,
those three are exceptional. So I think I'll leave that blank. When you talk about the centre back partnership, I go with Saliba and Thiago Silva. I talk about the
honestly,
left back. The Chelsea have a left back. Arsenal have a left back. On the left back position, I will go with. It's really, really
that
difficult.
one is quite tight. Chilwell is not
Yeah.
available, Sha, so it should be straightforward for you.
Well, Zinchenko is not
Aguilera
someone.
or Zichenko.
Let's just say I go with I don't know. Let's just leave it. There's so many question
Or you
marks
go
there.
with Levi Colwill. He has been playing
I
left
could go
back
with I
since.
could go with Tempo. From the right back too as well. You've got Rich James, you've got Ben White. So I think those are two good options. In the middle of the park, the defensive midfield, go with Declan Rice, Enzo Fernandez, and Martin Odegaard. And of course, the right wing, I think one of the best right wingers in the world, Bukayo Saka. You don't expect me to call Mudrik from the left wing. I'm sure you don't expect me. I go with Gabriel Martinelli. And up front, I go with Gabriel Jesus or Nketiah. So even looking at it, it looks like Arsenal have maybe the best XI than the Chelsea side. But we
Let
need
me
to
try to pick my own.
consider.
Let me try to pick my own. For
No,
goalkeeper, I'll
sorry,
go
we need
with
to consider that we need to consider that Chelsea um, are trying to build a squad from the scratch. But this is the Premier League, and especially if you spent so much money, close to 1 billion, nobody's going to give you time. The manager knows there is no time. Chelsea fans know there is no time. So it's up to the Chelsea fans, the manager, for them to build a successful club from the scratch again. It's really, really going to be difficult. But when you spend a whole lot of money, there's so much expectations.
There's so much expectations, and we hope Chelsea can live up to them. And right there, I'll quickly just go with my own goalkeeper. I'll go with Aaron Ramsdale for the centre back partnership, William Saliba, Thiago Silva. For the left back, I'll go with Zinchenko, and for the right back, I'll go with Ben White. In the midfield, I'll go with Thomas Partey, Enzo Fernandez, and Martin Odegaard. And for the left wing, I'll go with Raheem Sterling. For the right wing, I'll go with Saka. And up there, I'll go with Nicolas Jackson. And thank you very much, Mohammed,
Well,
for joining us.
that's what you expect from a Chelsea fan. I was expecting you to be biased. Then you left the bias till the end. It's actually very fine. But
Okay,
Nicolas
so you
Jackson
expect
still
Nicolas Jackson
Nicolas
is still
Jackson
a
has
good option.
Nicolas Jackson has a lot to work on. I think he needs more composure when he gets to the final third. Sometimes he's too in a hurry to make that decisions, and that is what separates the best strikers from the good ones, and from the good ones from the average ones. That extra 1 second that you have, you need to sometimes in the final third you need to be as calm as possible. If you are too in an haste, I think you will get so many decisions wrong. He has a very good potential. Nicholas Jackson, very, very good potential.
Yeah. For Jackson, I also think sometimes he does a lot of work. So that work, winning the ball back, helping his team defensively. Then he gets gassed out immediately. He gets to the box. Well, good point to pick out right there. Needs to be more calm in front of goal and should be able to get some nice ones. And thank you very much, Mohammed, for
Yeah.
always coming
Sorry
up
to
to
add,
do this.
you should watch some of the clips of Rasmus Højlund on how to
What with
be
clips?
very calm in front of goal. Yeah, clips of Rasmus Højlund, be calm in front of goal, how to let me not talk too much. And one thing I have not seen from Nicholas Jackson yet is his ball striking. I've not really seen him as someone who can strike the ball so well. And I always love a striker who can strike the ball. It gives joy when you have a striker who can hit the ball so well into the bottom corner. And you look at those the best strikers of the world, Lewandowski's, the Aguero, the Harry Kane, their ball striking is phenomenal. Erling Haaland, there are some ways that you strike the ball and it gives the goalkeeper no chance at all. So I really need to see more of his ball striking ability.
Still early days though, and I think the man will come good in his own stride. Thank you
Early
very
days,
much.
or early days or not, if you don't have it in your locker, you don't have it. But like you said, it's still early days. We'll see about that.
We've seen people struggle in their first season and their second season, and boom, from there. So
Okay,
different,
we'll see about that.
but we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. And thank you very much for joining us on the show as
It's a
always,
pleasure.
Mohammed. Thank you, and please do like and subscribe our video. Very much important for the growth of the channel. Thank you very much, and goodbye. We see you when we see.
Goodbye.